So I'm a very manly guy. I drink hard whiskey, I love sports, and I never cry. And even though I'm extremely tough, tougher than any guy you know, I have a secret. Come closer and I'll tell you. Closer, closer.
Too close, a little too close.
I love musicals. They're the best, man. What can I say? I have a vast taste of film, but when it comes down to it, when the rubber meets the road, one of my favorite genres is musicals. I can't even describe why. They're just always so fun and exciting. Even the bad ones can fill me with such glee. So I wanted to sit down and go through all the musicals that I like, and some that I have seen but don't really like that much, and then I'll throw them up on a tier list. I have some, let's say, unique views on some of the classics, so don't crucify me. Firstly, I wanted to define what a musical actually is. When you jam that shit into Google, it gives you this definition. A play or film in which singing and dancing plays an essential part. My problem with this definition is I feel that not all movies that have singing and dancing in them are musicals. To help me define my own personal definition of a musical, I wanted to quickly look at some almost musicals, and give my explanation of why these aren't actually musicals. The first movie I wanted to talk about is 8 Mile. 8 Mile came out in 2002 and stars Eminem. It's about an aspiring white battle rapper who is trying to find himself and his music, while trying to do right by his friends and his daughter. I like this movie. It's a fun watch, and I'm a fan of Eminem's early career, less so of his new stuff.
Knock knock, let the devil in.
But I would not call it a musical, and I don't think many other people would. There are a few scenes of battle rapping in it, but other than that, there's only one song, Lose Yourself, that Eminem's character is writing throughout the film. There just isn't enough music in this film for me to classify it as a musical. So there's a rule to add to the classification. Music must be frequent in the film for it to be a musical.
Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away.
Another movie that I think is an almost musical is the film Yesterday. Yesterday was a 2019 Danny Boyle film, which was a tribute to the music of the Beatles. In this movie, everyone in the world forgets that the music of the Beatles actually existed, except one man. So he recreates the music and sells it as his own. It's a fun movie, very cheesy and cringy at some points, but overall I liked it, but I wouldn't call it a musical. This movie is filled with scenes of the main character singing, and it is an essential part of the film, so by the original definition, it should be a musical. But let's look at some classic musicals, like Grease and Les Mis. There are countless scenes where characters are singing their dialogue, and everyone in the scene is getting in on it and singing and dancing. This is because it is a theatrical device to show dialogue and ideas, and to be entertaining for the audience. But it isn't realistic, and doesn't really make sense. All the music in Yesterday makes realistic sense, where every singing scene is a performance of some kind, like a concert or an audition. In a real musical, you must suspend your disbelief and understand that it isn't realistic or normal, and just roll with it. So being non-realistic and suspending disbelief seem to be elements of musicals. So now that we have the rules figured out, let's go through a few more almost musicals. The classic 1986 Jim Henson film Labyrinth isn't a musical either. I love this movie, great puppetry and sets, but just think about how much music is actually in the film. Most of the music is sung by David Bowie. He sings the intro song, there is the Dance Magic Dance scene, there's that absolutely disgusting green screen dance scene, Bowie sings All Falls Down, and Bowie sings that song as he's walking around on the MC Escher stairs. So if my calculations are correct, that's 5 songs during the entire film. I'd say that's hardly enough songs to count as a musical. Maybe if Jennifer Connelly had a few songs of her own, maybe it would classify as a musical, I don't know. To be honest, this movie is on the cusp of being a musical.
We were on the verge of greatness. We were this close.
Anything more musical than Labyrinth, I would classify as a musical.
Please don't stop the, please don't stop the, please don't stop the music.
So let's check 3 more movies off the almost musical list, then we can get to the good stuff. The Pitch Perfect films are not musicals, in my opinion. They all have frequent singing and dancing, but it's a series of films about singing contests and the training for them. While I'm at it, I might as well say that I like the first Pitch Perfect film. I think the use of a cappella music is unique in films. I can't actually think of another movie that features it, being very niche in the world of film. But the other two are a bit cringy, and they're just trying to ride off the success of the first one, without bringing too much to the table. Don't get me wrong, there are cringy bits in the first one too, but I can kinda overlook it because of the uniqueness of the film, you know? It's not that amazing by any means. The best scenes in all 3 of these films are the riff-off scenes, where a large group of characters sing in a singing battle.
What is a riff-off?
A riff-off is a little game that we like to play to see who's better. We start with a topic, just took the last word of the old song and matched it with the first word of the new song, but you stay on tempo, stay on beat, stay on pitch, and of course, keep it in the relative key.
They're very fun, and they're the only scenes that I feel like you have to suspend your disbelief for, as these characters sing these songs perfectly, on pitch and in unison, and they all just make it up on the spot. So weird. Now with that out of the way, in no particular order, let's go through some real musicals.
But this car could be systematic, hydromatic, Ultramatic. Why could be greased lightning?
Let's start with one of the most famous musicals of all time, Grease. This 1978 film is based on the 1971 musical by Jim Jacobs and Warren Casey, and is a darling of the musical community. Everyone seems to love this film, and they're right to do so. This film is so fun, with amazing musical numbers and choreographed dances. It is about a high school romance between John Travolta's character Danny Zuko and Olivia Newton-John's character Sandy, as they fall in love, all the while their friend groups are trying to keep them apart. I do really love most of the musical numbers that generally get the praise. Grease, Summer Nights, You're the One That I Want, We Go Together, and Grease Lightning. They're all really fun songs that are accompanied with excellent dances that bring a smile to my face. Other notable parts of the film are obviously the racing scene, which is very exciting and exhilarating. I also really love the dance contest. John Travolta really has some amazing moves. The only other dancing I've seen from him is from Pulp Fiction. This is definitely a step up from that. My favorite scene in the whole movie is the opening scene with the fun animation, while the Grease song is playing. Very fun. And I love it when John Travolta yells out,
Dandy, you just can't walk out of a drive-in!
It's so funny. Now that we have all that praise out of the way, time for me to criticize the film a bit. I really just don't care about any of the characters. Other than Danny and Sandy, there's a large cast of characters that we're supposed to care about them and their problems, but they just don't resonate with me. Rizzo and Kaneki are alright side characters, but when they focus on their problems, like when Rizzo might have been pregnant, I start checking my phone. I just don't care. And don't get me started on the character Frenchie. I had to Google her name just now because I couldn't even remember it. That's how much I care about that character. She isn't happy with the beauty school and is planning on dropping out. And then we get the song Beauty School Dropout, which so many people seem to love, but I just can't stand. I don't really get what's great about that song, and furthermore, there are a lot of songs I just don't care about either. Other than the songs I listed earlier, I just don't jam with any of the other songs. Sue me. I also don't like the ending very much. I don't like the excuse for a resolution, where Sandy just decides to stop being a prude and change who she is to fit Danny's personality. I just feel she should have had some on-screen character development, or Danny should have just accepted Sandy for who she was. I'm also not the biggest fan of them driving off into the sky together at the end. I know we're suspending our disbelief for the scene, but I just think it's so silly and strange. If they wanted to have this car flying scene, they should have had some other physics-defying scenes in the film as well. I just find it a strange part of the film that comes out of nowhere. So I do like this film. I really do. It is fun and an absolute classic, but it's not perfect or amazing by any means. I would put it in B tier. I feel that not a lot of people have seen Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, and they really should. It's amazing. It's a web series that came out in 2008. Created by Joss Whedon. It is about Neil Patrick Harris's character, Dr. Horrible, who is an aspiring evil villain, who wants to stop the hero, get the girl, and join the evil League of Evil. The hero in question is Captain Hammer, played by Nathan Fillion. Hammer is a cocky hero, who is played very cheesy and fun. While this whole movie is cheesy and fun, never taking itself too seriously, you know, until it suddenly does. I won't spoil this one, as I feel that not a lot of people have seen it, so just trust me and go watch it. The music is superb, especially showing off the singing skills of Neil Patrick Harris. Who would have thought that Barney from How I Met Your Mother was a good singer?
2, 3, 4. For the longest time.
He is incredibly talented. Please go watch this, it's only 40 minutes long, it's on YouTube for free. I love this so much, and I'm gonna put it straight into S tier. Let's talk about this nice modern horror movie. Oh, I mean musical. Cats is such a disgusting movie. You all know this. I'm not breaking any new ground here. This 2019 CG-filled horror film was made by Tom Hooper. Oh, the winner of the 2011 Best Director Award at the Oscars, Tom Hooper? But he made Les Mis, one of my favorite musicals. What? That's so weird. I'll talk about the Les Mis movie later, but be sure it's not comparable with Cats at all. Cats is about a group of cats who are doing a talent show or some shit to see who gets to go to heaven or something. Here's a screenshot of the plot from Wikipedia, because I'm sure as hell don't remember it. I feel like I'm beating a dead cat here, just piling on this crappy movie that everyone else is already shitting on. But it really is just that bad. There are just so many boring characters and songs that have no effect on the story at all. Half the movie is just cats introducing themselves. I'm serious. A new cat will come onto the scene and will sing a song telling us who they are. Then another cat will come and do the same. Then again.
Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one.
I don't care about these cats. God. The only enjoyable part of the film, other than the moment I could leave the theater, was Idris Elba's character. Idris Elba plays McCavity, the villain of the film, who was trying to kidnap, I guess catnap, the other cats so he can be chosen to go to heaven. He played his character very over the top and cartoonishly evil, which seemed pretty fun and charming. The best song in the film was sung by Taylor Swift, which was an introduction to Idris Elba's character. It was actually pretty catchy and fun. Or maybe it was just because the rest of the movie was so boring. I don't know. I did like how the main character was played by a ballerina instead of just a named actor, which seemed like a decision for quality opposed to financial potential. And then I remember that this movie has no quality at all, so I can't even enjoy this movie as a so bad it's good movie, like I do with some of the other musicals I like. It was just so boring and I never want to watch it again. Some of the choreography was admittedly well done, if only the story, characters, music, acting, score, and special effects were well done as well. Then this movie might have actually been palatable, F tier. So that's my tier list so far. I'll have a follow-up video talking about more musicals in a bit. Do you agree with my rankings for these movies? Let me know in the comments below, and recommend some more obscure musicals that I might not have seen, so I can add them to the tier list.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.